Hey guys, once again here in Visado Migration Services, here with Nicolas Miranda, our registered migration agent who brings all the honest answers and obviously all the informations about migrating into Australia. So today we're going to talk about, and obviously if you're watching this, probably you have watched all the videos about, I will say this video series, which is about the partner visa, and we're talking about partner visas and the love of Australia, and we have mentioned about the love of the visa and so on and so forth. And we've gone through a lot of already about a lot of the topic in detail. But then the situations and this video is going to be related more into, you know, the once I get ready, because we've discussed how can I apply or what does define a partner visa. But okay, let's say I've got everything, you know, I'm ready. I've been 12 months with my partner, and then I've got this and I've got that, I've got all the documentations, and then I'm ready. Nick, I already, you know, have and organized all the documents that you asked me, and I'm gonna give it to you, and what's next? So today we're gonna talk about what is or how does it take for me to get granted these type of visas.
Yeah, perfect. So how long does it take for a partner visa to be approved is, you know, maybe not the $1 million question, but a question that comes up quite a lot. But I just want to touch on something that you mentioned, which is kind of interesting in regards to documentation and how do I get all my documentation ready? It's really important to make sure you've got all the correct documentation. Everybody's always worrying about the right documents, but the department has changed and has actually moved into the future, if you could say that. By firstly, the department no longer accepts applications on paper, so you don't have to post anything to the department anymore. In some cases they do, but in most cases they don't. So everything now is done online. So what does that mean? It means that all your documents can be digitally scanned, uploaded, and sent to the department. You never have to meet anybody. You never have to physically go to the office and get a photo taken or handed in. You do it all from your computer. So when it comes to documents, I just wanted to say that things are a little bit easier now.
That's great, and I just when I was, you know, traumatizing all the thing about bringing all the documents, and I was actually doing it, bringing the bunch of documents to you, and that's, you know, that's a story now. That's obviously
that's ancient history. Yeah, for sure. And Australia is an interesting place, I guess, because, and we can talk about this maybe later on, but Australia, what it does have is it has a really mature immigration program that is seen as being a bit of a leader in the world in terms of how to migrate or how to manage its migration program really well. And a lot of countries copy the Australian model in many ways. So the infamous ESTA, which is the American tourist visa, originated in Australia. So we have the original online tourist visa, okay, first in Australia, but then every other country has modelled themselves after Australia. So Australia really has got a pretty good migration system already in place, and it's always coming up with new ways of doing things and making things hopefully easier.
Yeah, that's something that definitely, and I will probably people here in Australia don't realize because you don't know when you haven't experienced from other places. But myself, coming from South America, processes in any type, they're so difficult, very difficult. In Australia, they make there's a procedure, but they make it every time easier and easier and easier, and that's something I love about Australia. But today we were talking about how long does it take the visas to be granted.
So even though we have a clear process on how long on how visas are done in Australia, there still is a processing time. So right now at this moment in time, how long does it take to process an onshore visa application? Let's talk about in Australia. It takes 2 years. That's the average processing time. Now, every case is different. Some people get it a bit sooner. Some people take a little bit more. So generally it takes 2 years to get that decision, the first decision from the department on your visa application. How about outside of Australia for an offshore or an outside of Australia application? Well, that's a bit different. And why? Because each area has a central, each region around the world has a central processing area. So in North America, the central processing area would be Ottawa in Canada, or in Latin America, it's in Santiago, Chile. In Europe, you've got London as a central processing area, depending on the area that you're in as well. So those areas then have different processing times as well, because some are less busy, others are busier. It really depends. Now, we don't have those times. We can only estimate based on speaking to other migration agents or lawyers who have done this process, and they can inform us. So those times are still advertised as being 2 years, but some places are faster, others are slower. It really depends. So that, unfortunately, we don't know how long.
Nick, something very important, and guys that you are listening or watching this video, I love your honesty, Nick. And I've seen and I've heard people saying, oh, I'm getting visas in 1 month, or I'm getting visas in 3 months, and others are not. No one knows. It is a lottery. So yes, there's that period, 2 years, right? But not because I'm applying for you. You might get a visa in a month time, or I don't know, whatever, in record time. But also the next applicant can be within the 2 years. Mm-hmm. So that's something important. Probably people will hurt me for saying that, but it's real. It's real. Like immigration works completely different, and probably, as you were saying, I don't know if that happens, but it might happen in some type of visas. I know that it have happened, that you apply, let's say, in South America, but it ends up being processed in somewhere else that wasn't, and that place was probably faster than other places, and
Exactly.
And that's what's happened. But Nick, I love really, and this is what I literally love about these videos, is being honest. It's a huge part of this, and understanding of there is a period, and it could be tomorrow, or it could be in a 2 years time, and that it's I will say it's just a lottery. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. Is it like that, or is it in a specific, or what do you think?
So I think it's fairly accurate now. So the department is getting a lot better at giving us estimates of processing times, but they're only an estimate, and sometimes you fall outside of those estimates. So you can always expect a little bit of variation with these times.
But in what I was relating to is I get a lot of not emails. It's more about in social media, in Instagram and Facebook, in the groups here in Australia, saying apply for a visa and in 2 months I got that.
Yeah. So when it comes to that, I'm always quite skeptical as a migration agent, because I always say, well, am I, do I know everything about this case? Why was this case, so successful? What were the circumstances around this? So, you can always question it, but it's hard to believe. I guess at the end of the day, as a migration agent or a lawyer, you are applying, or an applicant, you're applying with what's called a decision-ready application.
Yes.
So everything is there. It's loaded up. It's ready to go. All the case officer has to do within immigration is get it, tick off their little box, tick all their boxes, and then send, and then grant the visa. So that's the most important thing, having a decision-ready application.
Well, here we have all the answers, and once again, as I'm saying, the honesty and being clear of how things happens and how the processes are. It's a very important thing to know. And once again, to you guys, and Nick, thanks a lot. And thanks for you guys to be watching these videos and listening to us. Follow us on this channel for you to continue to, if you're interested about the partner visa, to be able to answer all those questions, which they seem general, but they're very important. Nick, thanks a lot.
Thanks, George.
Bye.